This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Monday, the 1st day of June in the year 2020. I'm Gordon Mosley. Here's what we're tracking tonight. Guyana's Commissioner of Police and Chief Immigration Officer Leslie James has responded to a letter from the chairperson of the Elections Commission and has indicated that based on a list of persons sent to him by her, 172 of the 207 persons on the list were out of Guyana on Elections Day, based on immigration records. The GCOM chair dispatched a correspondence to the Chief Immigration Officer last week, seeking clarification on whether a list of persons submitted to the Elections Commission by the APNU-AFC coalition contained the names of persons who were out of the country but still allegedly voted on Elections Day. It is from that list that the Chief Immigration Officer pointed out that 172 of the persons were out of the country. At a press conference this midday, GCOM spokesperson Yolanda Ward said that she believes that at some point the Commission will have to discuss the response of the Immigration Department, but the issue had not been discussed as yet.
And the chair would have written to the Commissioner of Police with that attachment on the 22nd of May, and a response I think was received on the 27th of May. The response from the commissioner would have indicated that 172 out of that 207 did not arrive or return to Guyana on or before the 2nd of March.
Ms. Ward also indicated that the Commission was aware of the chairperson's intention to seek the information from the Immigration Department following the receipt of the complaint from the APNU-AFC. She said while she cannot speak to the reason behind the chairperson seeking the information, she believes the chairperson would have considered the power at her disposal in seeking such information.
What happened if you understand clearly the recount process? When a box has been counted, the contents of that box is sealed back in that box, including the list. A SOR is generated after the count, but the box with the contents of that box as received from the container is sealed back and placed back into that container.
Questioned about whether or not GCOM has confirmed that votes were indeed cast for the 172 persons found to be out of the country on Elections Day, Ms. Ward said the Elections Commission request was based on the complaint by the APNU-AFC.
Again, I cannot say I said the commissioners were aware, maybe through one of their discussions at the meeting, but as it relates to whether it was a decision of the Commission, as I would have indicated, I do not know as to whether it was a decision, but I believe that as a chair of a commission, there is an amount of authority that a chair has to act within her purview. And as again, I do not want to speak on behalf of the chair, but I'm sure there is some wisdom as to why she may have written to the commission.
The People's Progressive Party, in a statement last evening, continued its complaints about any move by the Elections Commission to investigate claims of migrant and dead voting, as is being alleged by the APNU-AFC. The party's position is that the Elections Commission has no jurisdiction to hear and determine the matters of votes allegedly being cast by persons who were overseas on Elections Day or the issue of votes allegedly being cast in the name of persons who are dead. The PPP's position is that the matters can only be addressed by the High Court in an election petition case. The PPP now wants to meet with the chairperson of the Elections Commission on the issue. The APNU-AFC coalition has been holding out that the recount of votes has unearthed a number of cases of fraud, which brings the issue of credibility of the elections into question. More news coming up in a moment.
We all want to stay in touch, right? Now, even more than ever before. So to keep your connection strong, GTT is going 2 for 2. Combine GTT mobile and home internet services and we'll give you 2 gigs of free mobile data each month. With 2 GTT services, you're fully connected at home and on the go. Visit us online at gtt.co.gy/2for2 to learn more and start doing more with 2 for 2 from GTT. Stay safe, stay strong, Guyana. We're in this together.
GBTI is your Guyanese bank, a bank that understands every customer's unique needs, opportunities, challenges, and financial concerns. At GBTI, we see you for you. Whether you're buying a new home or car, planning your next vacation or retirement, saving for your child's future, or whether you're ready to take that bold step of investing in your dream business idea, we are with you every step of the way. We hear your stories and watch you focus on your dreams as we share your aspirations. We are more than just banking. We are a family. We are part of your community. Our commitment extends way beyond the walls of our branches and is demonstrated every day in the opportunities we provide to our individual and business customers. The support, time, and commitment we give back to communities across Guyana to help improve the lives of our Guyanese families. Because we see Guyana through your eyes. Parents and guardians, you are encouraged to tune in to the Guyana Learning Channel, Cable 29 or Channel 42 for daily educational and interactive learning sessions. The nursery program airs from 6 hours to 9 hours. Primary programs from 9 hours to 12 noon. We also air informative documentaries from 12 noon to 13 hours, and our secondary level programs are aired from 13 hours to 15 hours. Please continue to listen to our radio broadcasts. The interactive radio instruction for grades 1 to 3 daily on Voice of Guyana from 9 hours 30 to 10 hours for grade 1 pupils, from 10 hours 30 to 11 hours for grade 2s, and 13 hours to 13 hours 30 for grade 3 pupils. Please remember to tune in to benefit from these educational opportunities. A message from the Ministry of Education.
Are you washing your hands correctly? Here are some tips on when and how to wash your hands. Step 1. Wet your hands with clean water. Step 2. Then apply soap. Step 3. For 10 to 15 seconds, lather your palms together. Always remember to pay attention to your fingers, especially your nails and tips. And don't forget the back and between your fingers. Step 4. Rinse hands with clean water for about 20 seconds. Step 5. Dry hands with a clean paper towel or tissue.
But when should you wash your hands? After using the toilet, before and after eating, preparing or handling uncooked food, after playing with pets or caring for animals, after sneezing and coughing or blowing your nose, before and after changing babies or caring for others.
Frequent hand washing or using a hand sanitizer with alcohol as an alternative will remove viruses and bacteria from your hands.
A message from the Ministry of Public Health in collaboration with PAHO WHO.
Welcome back. Well, let's tell you now that of the active cases of the coronavirus disease in Guyana, at least 15 of those cases are from the Region 7 mining community of Aranca. Aranca is close to the border with Venezuela, and there has been growing concern in many of the bordering communities with Brazil and Venezuela about the possibility of imported cases because of persons traversing the borders at illegal crossings. The regional health officer for Region 7 today said that while there are 15 cases in the region, there is no active case in the town of Bartica, which serves as the meeting point for many miners going in and coming out of the interior district. The Regional Health Emergency Committee in Region 7 says it is currently awaiting word from the National Committee and the Ministry of Public Health on recommendations to address the COVID-19 issue in Aranca, which is now the epicenter of COVID-19 infections in the Cayuni-Mazaruni region. Health authorities in Region 7 have been calling on miners to be extra careful with the rising number of cases in the mining communities. The Public Health Ministry has also expressed some worry about the rising numbers in those mining communities. While Guyana recorded no new cases of the coronavirus from 40 tests completed in the past 24 hours, there are, however, 71 active cases with 70 recoveries, and the number of deaths remains at 12. According to the Director of Primary Healthcare, Dr. Hortensia Hamilton, coronavirus cases have been recorded in 7 of Guyana's 10 administrative regions. She said persons in those regions where there have not been any reported cases should still take precautions.
We are aware that persons residing in the regions where cases have not been reported are taking this situation for granted instead of taking all the necessary precautions to protect themselves. We continue to plead that your only protection is ensuring that you wear a mask, maintain physical distance if you are in public, but most importantly, follow the curfew and other measures that the ministry has in place.
The majority of recent cases of the coronavirus in Guyana have been coming from regions 1 and 7, especially the mining communities.
Residents of regions 1 and 7, and most importantly, those who are from the mining communities. We ask that you continue to be vigilant and be forthcoming with information that is necessary for us to be able to contain the spread of this disease in your communities. Persons experiencing the signs and symptoms of this disease are asked to contact the hotline if you can, or the closest health facility, so that we can visit you and provide the necessary services. This is also being asked of all who have been in contact with someone who was tested positive. We call on all other agencies and community groups to reinforce the guidelines to all residents.
Since Guyana recorded its first case of the coronavirus on the 11th of March, a total of 1,658 tests have been completed, with 1,505 of those tests returning a negative result. While the recount of votes has been completed for 7 of the 10 regions, with just regions 4, 6, and 10 having their votes still being counted. It was revealed today that 5 of the 12 workstations being used for the recount are now being dedicated to the District 4 recount.
So looking at the rate we've been moving over the past few days, it means that it's likely that we will be completed within the new duration that we have.
District 4 is the largest electoral district, which has the largest number of voters. Ward explained that with the pace at which the recount is currently going, the entire process will be completed within the extension period. The Elections Commission last week extended the recount until the 13th of this month, with 3 additional days to be used for the completion of tabulation and submission of the report on the recount to the Elections Commission. There are still over 400 boxes to be counted for Region 4, while for the other 2 regions, the number of outstanding boxes is under 100 each. A number of countries across the Caribbean region are getting ready to reopen their economies and their countries. And Caribbean Airlines today announced that it has implemented the use of thermal scanners at its Piarco head office in Trinidad as part of the precautionary measures to limit and control the spread of the coronavirus. The thermal scanners have been introduced on a trial basis, and the airline will continue to monitor and evaluate the effectiveness of the measure. The company said during the trial period, all employees and visitors to the airline's Piarco compound will be screened to assess whether their body temperature is at an acceptable level as prescribed by the Chief Medical Officer of Trinidad and Tobago. Caribbean Airlines CEO Garvin Madeira, in commenting on the initiative, said the implementation of the thermal scanners at the head office in Trinidad is just one of several precautionary measures that Caribbean Airlines has implemented in the fight against COVID-19. On the police blotter, police investigators in Berbice arrested a West Coast Berbice man over the weekend for the murder of his own brother. 44-year-old Shieldstown Village resident Kemlal Bisnot is accused of stabbing his 45-year-old brother Surinandan Bisnot to death during an argument over a plot of land. Moments before the incident, the 2 men were seen enjoying alcoholic beverages in the community. But once they got home, an argument broke out between them over the land that is owned by their elderly father. It was during the argument that the younger brother armed himself with a knife and stabbed the other brother to the chest in the region of his heart. The injured man was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead by doctors. The brother was immediately taken into custody and will likely face the courts this week. Across the region is coming up next.
Wondering how you can access free learning materials for your children? Parents and guardians, please visit the Ministry of Education's website at www.education.gov.gy to access textbooks, past papers, and practice tests to keep your child engaged in continuous learning. When you have accessed the site, go to the Students tab, wait for a second, and choose the appropriate option. You now have access to the resources you need. You are encouraged to take advantage of this opportunity as we strive to provide the best education for the nation's children. A message from the Ministry of Education.
They've made a positive impact on the heavy-duty transportation industry in Guyana since they've arrived. Guyanese are amazed at their power, durability, efficiency, and superior handling capabilities. These are brand new trucks, manufactured in partnership with German, Italian, and French companies. They have a powerful reputation for operating under very adverse Guyanese conditions and come with full after-sales service and spare parts. They're the most sought-after trucks today, with over 500 units in Guyana, and they're available in over 100 countries, including South America and the Caribbean. Be smart. Buy brand new ST Howo trucks today. Call 608-4998 and arrange for an inspection at ST Truck Guyana Incorporated, Block B, Public Road, Covenant, East Bank, Demerara.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right. Walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong. Be the one to live right.
Falls, a trademark of China's Zhanghao Incorporated, located at Land of Cane in East Bank, Demerara, was incorporated in April of 2013, with over $10 billion Guyana dollars invested in a state-of-the-art 100,000-barrel fuel storage facility, a modern service station, an office complex, and a modern wharf that can berth international vessels. Having no association with any other fuel company, Falls imports its own fuel, which meets quality specifications, has all the legal permits, and is in compliance with international requirements. Its bulk facility can load 8 trucks simultaneously at a rate of 1,000 liters per minute, while the service station can service 12 cars at a time using computerized fuel pumps, which can facilitate the use of ATM cards. Through its professional team of mostly Guyanese, Falls wholesales and retails fuels to the public, including farmers and miners, and will continue to positively contribute to Guyana by providing quality products, service, and attractive prices. Try Falls today for all your fuel needs.
Hi Guyana, it's your boy Kimo Paul here. Remind you to stay at least 1 meter away from persons, or 3 feet, to avoid contracting the flu or the COVID-19. It is also important that we stay at home and to avoid gatherings of more than 5 persons. We must all play our part, so let's protect ourselves and our families from COVID-19. We must all play our part. The Ministry of Public Health cannot do this alone, so let's all come together and fight this virus.
For further information, check our website www.health.gov.gy or visit the ministry's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or Twitter page.
Across the region right now, the government of Jamaica has reopened the country's ports of entry for the repatriation of Jamaicans from today and to international travelers from the 15th of June. The announcement was made to tourism stakeholders in a letter signed by the country's Minister of Tourism, Edmund Bartlett. Jamaicans returned to work today and various agencies of the state resumed operations on a phased basis. In a statement, the Minister of Health, Dr. Christopher Tufton, reminded Jamaicans that it is now more important than ever for them to remain vigilant in the infection prevention and control measures to reduce the risk of exposure to the coronavirus. Tufton also reminded Jamaicans that the outbreak is not over and everyone must persist in the measures such as staying at home, avoiding crowds, maintaining a physical distance of 6 feet from each other, frequently washing and sanitizing their hands, and cleaning surfaces where droplets may fall. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Health has recorded 6 new cases of the coronavirus in Jamaica. The country's total stands at over 580. In neighboring Brazil, there have been between protesters for and against the country's president. Over the weekend, Brazil overtook France in the total number of coronavirus deaths, with nearly 29,000 people losing their lives. The president, Jair Bolsonaro, came out on a horse to join hundreds of supporters in the capital of Brasilia. There was no attempt of distancing, the BBC reports. President supporters are calling for a military intervention and the closure of the Supreme Court. Tensions have been rising between Bolsonaro and the judiciary because of an investigation into political interference by the president. And finally tonight, international news. The BBC reports that the African-American man George Floyd, whose death has sparked civil unrest in the US, died from a lack of oxygen, a private autopsy has found. He died due to compression on his neck and back by Minneapolis police officers. Medical examiners hired by his family have confirmed. The findings differ from an official preliminary autopsy carried out by the county medical examiner. That autopsy did not find evidence of traumatic asphyxia or strangulation. A video showing a white police officer continuing to kneel on George Floyd's neck even after he pleaded he could not breathe sparked outrage when it emerged a week ago. It has led to 6 consecutive days of protests across the U.S., with the country experiencing a level of civil unrest it has not seen since the 1960s. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting.